Friends, are you planning to fly to Leh for your upcoming Ladakh trip and wondering if it will be a good idea or not? A lot of folks on my travel blog ask me that do you know if flying to Leh Ladakh will be as exciting as a road trip to Ladakh or not? And it is not surprising at all because whenever it comes to a trip to Ladakh, we all favor a road trip over Manali Leh Highway or Srinagar Leh Highway. The reason is quite simple, the journey is as beautiful as the destination. Today in this Express FAQ series on traveling to Ladakh, I will share with you 7 reasons why you should be flying to Leh for your upcoming Ladakh trip. So let's get started. Jule friends, if you are new to my channel, my name is Dheeraj and I help people in planning memorable trips to the Himalayas. Well, like I already said, we rarely talk about flying to Leh Ladakh. However, there are situations when time becomes the essence for the trip and you may want to consider flying to Leh rather than riding a bike or driving your car all the way up there. Guys, please note that I already have a video on a detailed day-by-day plan or an itinerary for a Leh Ladakh trip by air. Do not forget to check it out over here. Now, without further delay, let us quickly talk about some most common reason why you should be flying to Leh. Number 1. The road to Leh Ladakh are closed in winters. This is the most common reason for flying to Ladakh because for about 6 months both Srinagar Leh Highway and Manali Leh Highway are closed due to heavy snowfall. So the only way to travel to Leh Ladakh in winters is by air. Srinagar Leh Highway opens and stabilizes by the end of April or early May, whereas Manali Leh Highway opens and stabilizes by the middle of May or to end of May. By October end, it becomes very difficult to travel on Manali Leh Highway due to severe cold and a possibility of a snow block. However, traffic movement continues over Srinagar Leh Highway by mid of November and sometimes end of November till Zojila Pass does not close. Hence, for the rest of the months in the year, you can only fly to Leh and then explore further sightseeing places in Ladakh which remains mostly open all around the year. Number 2. It is the fastest way to travel to Leh Ladakh. Well, it takes 3 days to reach Leh from Delhi via Manali side with stopovers at Jispa and Manali and 4 days to reach Leh from Delhi via Srinagar side with stopovers at Jammu, Srinagar and Kargil. This schedule makes it 7 days. You need at least 1 day in Leh for acclimatization as well. So, total of 8 days are already done over here. However, you can just take a flight from Leh to Delhi and reach in the lap of Trans Himalayas in just couple of hours. Beware, it would be a difference of 10,000 feet of altitude and a possibility of 30 degrees Celsius difference in temperatures. So, you will need to acclimatize your body up there. Reason number 3, it saves you at least couple of days. As I talked in point number 2, when you travel by road via Manali Leh Highway or Srinagar Leh Highway, you need minimum of 8 days to reach Leh, acclimatize for a day and then return back. However, if you fly directly to Leh, after initial couple of days of acclimatization, rest and local sightseeing around Leh, you are good to travel over Khardungla Pass for Nubra Valley. This schedule saves you at least a good number of 6 days if you are flying back home as well. Reason number 4, it helps you spend more time in Ladakh than on the roads. As it is clear from point number 2 and 3 that if you fly to Leh, you can cover the entire Ladakh sightseeing in 8 days instead of just reaching over there and coming back by road. Hence, instead of being on the road for 7 days and going through this arduous journey to reach your destination, sometimes it is better to fly in and spend that energy and time to soak in the place itself. You never know in which small tiny remote hamlet of Ladakh you may lose your soul forever. Of course, you will not be able to explore Manali Leh Highway or Srinagar Leh Highway which have their own beauties, but that can be taken care by your next Ladakh trip. Reason number 5, it is better in terms of acclimatization than taking road trip from Manali. In terms of AMS and acclimatization, I prefer traveling to Leh Ladakh by air as the second best option because the best option is to travel by Srinagar Leh Road which takes about 4 days and a gradual ascent in the altitude. Hence, it helps a lot in the acclimatization. However, instead of traveling over Manali to Leh, I always prefer flying directly to Leh then doing the return journey over Manali Leh Highway, especially when you are traveling by flight one way. Please note that Manali Leh Highway does not allow your body to acclimatize as most of the highway runs over 14,000 feet. Hence, you are bound to get hit with AMS or make a long journey of 12 to 13 hours from Jispa or Kelong to Leh even after opening of Atal Tunnel. This option also causes more fatigue, hence I prefer flying to Leh as the second best option after Srinagar Leh Highway. Reason number 6, no fuss about the bike rentals. As you may be aware by now watching my videos that bikes rented outside of Leh are not allowed for sightseeing inside Ladakh. You can use the outside rented bikes to reach Leh, but then for going to Pangong Tso or Somori or Nubra Valley etc., you need to hire a local rented Leh bike. The one-way bike rental is quite costly and leaves a big dent in the pocket for you, sometimes like rupees 10,000 to 12,000 for just pick up or drop from Manali or Srinagar. But when you fly to Leh, you can always rent a bike in Leh local, which would be sufficient to live the dream of an adventure bike ride in Ladakh. Don't forget to check my videos on how and where to rent bikes in Leh Ladakh. Lastly, reason number 7, when you're flying to Leh, you get to see some breathtaking aerial views of Ladakh Range or Trans Himalayas, which in winters looks like a nature's carpet of white gold we call snow. You can only believe these scenes when you see it. No video or picture can do justice for it. So friends, these were 7 common reasons for planning a Ladakh trip not by road but by flying up there to Leh and then doing further sightseeing in Ladakh. In my last video of this series, I'll talk about why you should not be traveling on Manali-Leh highway in October. So stay tuned and I'll see you in my next video. Now in the end, if you found this video helpful, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And in case if you need any help or have any questions on your upcoming trip to the Himalayas, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to help you out right away. Till then my friends, Jule and please keep our Himalayas clean.